A unique subdivision. It's Rob and Lizz in the morning, his radio.
Well, you could live on Squirtle Lane, Jigglypuff Place, or Snorlax Lane. Just a couple of the different street names that they have in
How
this
do I know those?
new subdivision. Because you have a kid that likes to play Pokemon.
Oh, those are character names.
Yeah.
These are street names?
Yes, these are street names in a brand new housing development. Now, this is in Vegas, and what happened is one of the developers, her son, loves to play Pokemon. And she thought, you know what? There's probably nowhere else in the world where there's going to be a neighborhood that has these kinds of names.
Yeah.
And so we're going to stand out. It's going to be unique. People are going to talk about it all the way across the country.
Snorlax Lane?
I know, right?
Really?
I don't even know what Snorlax is.
It's a character.
I know that, but I don't know which one. Like Squirtle, I know you Squirtle from my kids playing Pokemon. And I used to play Pokemon Go with them.
What?
Well, yeah. That's a fun game.
You're one of those irritating people walking all over the place? Did you hear that gasp from Ninja? Was that Ninja?
Yes, it was Ninja.
So what was the gasp for exactly?
I was that person.
See?
Oh, no, Pokemon Go was lit back in the day.
Yeah, we used to get on the golf cart and go around the neighborhood
my
and look for
word.
the different, I don't know the terms anymore of the things that you looked for.
I had that Pokemon?
Yeah.
Listen,
Pokemon.
listen, okay.
Pokemon Go. Well, I know, but
When
I mean.
I was really big into cycling, I was trying to go through downtown one time at the height of Pokemon Go. And let me tell you, people were not watching where they were going. Bumping at each other, running into walls.
I can see that.
Looking down at their phone, swiping on their phone like, it was their finger was going to fall off. It was crazy.
Well, so what you have to do, at least for us, when we were in the car and I would drive them around, obviously I wasn't playing at the time, but I had the boys in the car and they would say, take a right or and I would follow their directions and they would find their Pokemon. And then if we were in the golf cart, same exact thing.
Wasn't there like battle or cage matches or something like that with these things?
That's what I'm trying to remember. There was something
What's
like.
the answer, Jake?
I think they were, because it was sectioned off into like 3 teams, like the red, blue, and the yellow one. And so whatever you were on, I think you could eventually, like tournament fight each other.
That's it. Yeah, there are tournaments and stuff like that.
I don't remember that. I remember like you had to find a certain place that had extra points.
Oh, yeah.
What was that called?
Oh, I don't
Jake,
know,
I
but it
can't
had like the maximum points
Yes.
that you could write.
Because there was a gym in our town, and we would go by the gym and try to get that thing, whatever it was.
What, the
extra
YMCA?
points. No, I can't remember what it was called because it's not a gym
It was a
anymore.
CrossFit?
No, it was like Kingdom Gym. I think
You're
it's
talking about a real gym.
Yeah, an actual like fitness establishment. And it was, for whatever reason, this place where you would get extra points. I can't remember what it's called.
I think it was a double entendre because I don't know really a lot about Pokemon, but there are like Pokemon gyms in the world of Pokemon. So maybe like the real life gym can also be a Pokemon gym.
Well, but it wasn't just that a fitness place, because there was a church also in downtown that was one of these places you could get. And so they loved
Amazing.
visiting me at work because I worked downtown at that point. And they would get their little extra points there.
Really? I don't know if Scott ever got involved in Pokemon, but I mean, and I apologize for saying irritating people. I didn't mean that, although I did,
think
but
you
I
did.
didn't.
I'm just listening to this. It's like a foreign language, so no.
Yeah,
I
right.
never got into it.
You and
Kids
okay,
never really got into it either.
I am so surprised that Scott and his son never got into.
They're Legos.
But you can do both. I'm into the Queen and Pokemon Go. I mean,
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
Never in my life would I think I'd wake up, and while I don't have a pool, say I had a pool, wake up and look out the sliding glass door where the pool would be in the backyard and see this in the pool. It's Rob and Lizz in the morning, his radio. A horse.
of course.
A horse. I've heard of alligators in Florida in a pool. I've heard of bears getting into a pool.
We've had snakes,
Yeah, Liz has had snakes because her family has a pool.
raccoon.
Never in my life have I heard of a horse in a pool. But this has happened. Evidently, this family owns some horses, and the horse got backed up somehow and fell into the family's pool. And then they had to get, 911 involved and the fire department to get the horse out of the pool. How do you even do that?
So I'm going to tell you, this horse was on their deck. And that's my question. Like, what was the horse invited to? Like dinner? Like, were you? Did you serve him PB&J?
How does this work out?
So it's an above ground pool, and the horse got spooked somehow, got into the above ground pool, and then they used a harness situation.
They have to use a harness and use a John Deere with a bucket on the front of it, and they did get the horse out.
did,
The horse
safely.
is fine.
Gorgeous horse.
The horse said, "I'm never going to be a lifeguard. I'm never going to swim again." So everything is okay. I will tell you that Scott has saved a critter out of a pool before.
With a harness?
Yeah, I don't know if
It's
he used
true.
a harness.
No harness. It was a tadpole in a kiddie pool.
Oh, a tadpole. So did you just scoop it up with your little hands, and then you talk
did.
to it?
We watched it for a minute or two, and then we said, "All right, get out of here."
I'm curious how old
it up.
you were.
Oh, I thought you were asking how old the tadpole was.
Not the
I was
tadpole.
I was an adult. This was probably 10 years ago.
Oh, only a
My
decade ago.
Daughter was little. Yeah,
I
she
love
was
that-
7 was a baby.
Well, I love that you waited a few minutes to see how it would react to the chlorine before you saved it.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
I was driving into work this morning and saw, a couple of stars and planets and just, what is that? I wonder what that is. Rob and Liz in the morning, his radio.
It's all a part of the grand design, right? I mean, God created it all. It just didn't happen with some bang out of nowhere. It was created. I firmly believe that. I read that in the Bible. And so all of a sudden, here's this. I don't know if I want to call it clickbait or headlines, but here's some things that have been swirling around, and it's an eerie green light on Jupiter. An eerie green light. That just sounds so
Spooky, yeah.
right? You're like, it's an eerie green light. And so NASA and the scientists, a spacecraft actually from NASA actually snapped a picture. And in the picture, near one of the poles of Jupiter, there was this eerie green light. Turns out, according to scientists, it's a big storm that's happening on Jupiter. I mean, and it happens near the poles. I don't know if you know this, but here on planet Earth, most of our lightning strikes are at the North or South Pole. And I think it's more Antarctica than anything. A lot of the lightning strikes on the planet are always there, always happening.
Wow.
So it's a lightning strike and a big swirling vortex. This is their words, not mine.
Right.
I call it big storm. So it's a lightning strike. It just turns out that they snapped the picture at the time that lightning bolt was happening, which makes it look like an eerie green light off the planet of Jupiter.
Well, we know, at least, I remember in like 7th grade science or whatever, that the big red spot on Jupiter, it's a storm,
Yeah.
basically. And so there's always storms on Jupiter, so it does make sense. But I'm going to tell you, it does look like an actual light that somebody on the surface is like,
Hey, hello.
They
There's
got
a camera up there.
Their little laser pointer.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
So this one middle school in the Providence area received $100,000. And how they're going to spend it is up to the pupils of the school, the students of the school. They call it power to the pupil.
oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's why I call students pupils. I usually don't call them
Yeah.
pupils because I think about eyeballs all of a sudden like that. But no, it's a participatory, I can say the word almost, participatory budgeting event. So the 8th grade students came back to school for a day, and they discussed how are they going to spend the $100,000 with inside the school budget.
Wow, with great power comes great responsibility.
And that's the big thing. So they're learning about budgeting. They're learning about responsibility. They're learning about how do you really spend $100,000? Do we just get a big pizza?
Well, yeah.
Nice shining vending machines? Or do we spend it responsibly with inside the school? So it's neat on how they're getting 8th grade students involved in this power to the pupil of budgeting the $100,000 that was granted to this one middle school.
Honestly, that's the way we learn. We're given some responsibility, and yet I'm sure that the administration and some board members and that kind of thing kind of have to sign off on whatever they decide, because if they decide to upgrade the kickball selection, maybe not.
Well, that's why it's participatory, because everybody gets involved. So the students
awesome.
are learning it, the faculty's involved in it, and so they decide on all this together. But a lot of it is going to be decided by the students.
And once you have that responsibility and you're kind of invested in it, you take care of whatever they decide to spend
Well,
it
that's
on.
the
a little
hope.
More.
The hope is that's what they learn. This is something I need to do. I should have done this with my kids when they were growing up. I still have one left in the house. He's getting ready for high school, so I still have a shot to teach how to do budget. One thing that I've told Eli, all my kids, is that you have the 80-10-10 rule. 80-10-10. So 10% you give to your church. 10% you save. The rest of the 80% you live off of.
Right. You don't blow it. You got to live.
Exactly.
Car,
you
house.
have to live.
Insurance.
All the above. The adulting things.
I was just about to say, I got to sit down and take a breath. I'm adulting.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
My daughter had one of these probably when she was 8 or 9 years old. Cutest little thing, although they look like gremlins, the Furby.
I remember those things.
Yeah,
They went away a long time ago.
Listen, they sold so many of these things, like 40 million Furbies. They were interactive. They could learn words, like,
Oh, I remember. They were kind of creepy.
They were kind of creepy. I
Yeah.
mean, the technology seemed ahead of its time. So anyway, they went away for a while because everybody bought one and then they stopped.
Well, Jake had one of these.
You had one?
Jake had a Furby, yeah.
Yeah, I had a little Furby myself.
What color was it?
I believe it was blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse my ignorance, but did they have names?
I didn't name mine. I just had one. It was just like a little one. But it was a Furby.
Yeah, I don't think they came with names, so I think you could.
You could assign a name?
Exactly. Give it a little name. Furby or
adopt it.
something. Oh, yes, right, exactly. But they're coming back. So it's 25th anniversary.
No way.
And they're coming back, and they say they're going to be even more interactive, and they're going to learn even more from us as we talk to it. So,
No. Having a conversation with a Furby.
yeah, just don't give it water after midnight.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Melissa is along with us this morning at 800-447-7234. What's up, Melissa?
I just had to call because y'all's story, Liz's story about the Furbies just made me laugh. I worked at KB Toys when they first came out, and at Christmas time, we had people stalking our deliveries looking for specific ones.
It is so crazy how popular they were way back when.
It was insane.
Oh, I got to know what the most popular Furby was.
Certain colors, there was a white one and a white and black one, and they didn't get normally delivered. They were delivered by FedEx, and we used to have to bring our FedEx delivery guy through the back door.
Sneak them in.
Like the president.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
You probably heard by now because it's everywhere. Elon Musk and, I forgot his name.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook dude, are going to do what they say is a cage fighting match. We're talking all UFC right here, you know? They say they're going to do this. Now, it was an innocent tweet. It was a fun little thing. Now it looks like it's going to be a real deal. But somebody is putting a stop to it, the madness. And that's Elon Musk's mommy. Mommy said, Elon, no.
Isn't he in his 50s?
Yeah. Dude's in his 50s. And his mommy said no. She said, listen, here's what you two will do. If you're going to go into a cage match, no violence. Sit in chairs and only use words.
Oh, my goodness.
Can you see this?
It is a great mantra to live by. Just use your words, not your fists. Absolutely.
Yeah, use your words.
But the nature of a cage match. But I'm going to tell you, I would put my money on Elon every day. of the
Well, listen,
week.
Mom stepped in. It's not going to happen. Unless he's really a defiant character to his mommy. I don't think so.
He seems, and I don't know the guy, of course, he seems super respectful of her.
You would think,
And they
right?
seem to have a very good relationship. Now, Mark, where's your mama? Where's your mama bear stepping in for you? Because Mark Zuckerberg.
Maybe Daddy's saying, get in there, dude.
You know what?
You know?
Maybe possibly.
It's an innocent little tweet that came out. It's
yeah.
being blown out of proportion. But Mommy is making sure it doesn't happen.
I love
So,
her for this.
Yeah, May Mosk, we're hearing you.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
So there's a firefighter. He's actually at work. He's in the fire station, and he hears the silent alarm, and he checks it out, and it lets him know that somebody has used the safe haven baby box.
Oh, I heard of this.
Yeah.
Because there's those safe boxes where people can bring a baby.
Right.
You know, if there's a teenager, somebody who's like, I cannot take care of this child, and they put it in the box, a little alarm goes off inside the fire station.
Right. It's climate controlled, but it does alert multiple people that there's a baby in here.
Somebody
Something's
just
going
dropped a baby off.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he goes out, he checks, he gets the baby, of course, to the hospital, and, give her the once over, and doctors check her out and all this. So a couple of days goes by, and he and his wife decide that they're going to take her home for a little while.
The one who saw her in the
Yes.
box first?
Yes.
Really?
Here's the thing. They have been trying to have a child for years and years. Nothing was working. They were considering adoption. They were looking at different avenues. And then this baby is left at the fire station when this firefighter is actually there. This happened about 6 months ago.
Uh-huh.
The baby's name is Zoe.
Okay.
And she is living with the firefighter and his wife. And I believe they're in the process or have just gone through the process of making her part of their forever family.
Oh, that's so beautiful. A forever home for that family. It's like God just ordained the whole thing. It's like this teenager or whoever had a baby and can't take care of this precious little child, drops it off at this one fire station, could have picked any of them, and yet God had a family that was right there. A firefighter and his wife is like, this is our baby.
Ready and willing and lived up to the task.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Okay, so chicken globes. I have no idea if you know what a chicken globe is. Scott, I think, has burning questions and a theory. So what is chicken globes?
First thing I thought about when I heard chicken globes, brand new light feature. Chickens hanging from the ceiling.
Light up
Okay.
chickens.
Oh, so it's chickens that are lit up, like plastic chickens lit up?
Lit up chickens, yeah.
Like you surround your
Right,
deck
chicken-
with lit up chickens. Okay.
Oh, my.
What was the other theory? What was...
I was thinking nuggets too, like
Okay,
chicken, some kind of.
So they're round nuggets. So chicken globes
Oh,
are...
okay.
Okay, so they're like a
I
round
gotcha.
nugget.
I'm totally confused.
Like a
Yeah,
meatball,
but that's what I'm
but-
thinking.
Yeah,
But
dip them in
chicken.
the teriyaki sauce. It's just like
Honey mustard.
so nice. Ranch, a little bit of ranch.
Yeah, doesn't sound
Yeah,
bad.
don't do the blue cheese unless these chicken globes are like buffalo chicken.
Yeah, there you
globes.
go. A little
If it's
spicy.
a buffalo chicken globe, it's nice. No, okay, let me say hamster. Hamster. You know how they have the wheel on the inside of their cage? Well, for chickens on the outside, they have a globe that does the same thing.
So hamsters also, if you want them to roll around your house, and I know this because we used to have one, you put the hamster inside of a ball, and he or she can just roll themselves all over your house.
Oh, okay.
That's
Nice.
the way this chicken globe does. But it's almost like chicken wire. So the hamster ball is enclosed completely with a few little air holes. The chicken globe is like open because chicken can't squeeze out of
Like
one
a
of the little,
round cage.
like a round cage.
Okay, so hours of entertainment in your backyard. Your chickens who give you the eggs in your chicken coop can run around and get exercise in a chicken globe and not be harmed.
Just don't put them on a hill.